Greetings, viewers, and welcome to yet another episode of Trending Now, where we talk about the latest innovations for the professional greenhouse industry. I'm Bill Calkins, Senior Editor of GrowerTalks and Green Profit Magazine, and I'm really excited to talk to today's guest. What's trending these days? Perennial plants. And for good reason. Colors, textures, lasting power, and more make perennials inspiring to today's garden shoppers and landscape professionals. One of the companies bringing excitement to the world of perennials is Darwin, and helping greenhouse professionals achieve success selecting and growing these crops is of utmost importance to their entire team. My guest today is Chris Fifo, a well-rounded perennials guru who's grown more crops than most and works tirelessly to support growers, sharing top picks and best practices. Chris Fifo is perennial products representative for both Darwin Perennials and Kieft Seed, with 30 years greenhouse experience working with Swift Greenhouses in Iowa as senior grower and technical services advisor. He's focused his entire career on specifically perennial production, seed and vegetative, young plant, and finished. His goal is to help all growers have a successful and profitable perennial program. Chris, welcome. Why don't you go ahead and take it away and tell the viewers why perennials are hot and maybe some ways they can take advantage, because there are tons of opportunities right now for greenhouses to capitalize on the perennials market.
Thank you, Bill, for that fabulous introduction, and you're spot on correct as far as opportunities with perennials. Perennials are exciting. Perennials are trending. How can you take advantage of this perennial trend? I'm here to help you out with that. First of all, why? Perennials are new. They're different. That's what customers have been asking for. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been asked for something different. Perennials can offer that to customers with textures and colors, just like Bill mentioned, but new and different ways of mixing them into containers. Now, this is going to add a completely different aspect. We don't have to do just a perennial container, but we can mix a perennial in with your annuals as well. So great opportunities for something different. And also the biggest trend these days seems to be pollinators, and many perennials are excellent pollinator plants. So I would definitely jump on board with that trend. But what is fueling this excitement about perennials? It's the new stuff. It's the new genetics. The improved breeding these days is exceptionally better than what was offered to your mom or your grandma. Longer bloom time, higher flower count, better growth habit. These are all going to lead to better presence on the retail bench. But on top of that, greater disease resistance. This is going to give better landscape performance. Everybody's seen those garden flocks at the end of the season. They're completely covered in whites. Or you get this beautiful spring salvia. It looks great in bloom, but when it's done, it's covered with leaf spots. Well, we're improving upon that to give you better landscape performance as well. This has now brought perennials into our core product classes. They aren't that exception to the rule anymore. They are right up there, front and center on the benches with our annual products these days. So what I have always told everybody is anybody can grow perennials. They don't have to be separate in a separate house, separate fertilizers, media. Grow these right alongside your annual crops and you're going to have great success. Don't overthink perennials. They're just plants and you know how to grow plants. How to capitalize on this trend? First of all, for you, focus on first year flowering. This is one thing we've done with perennials to make them easier for you, is to take out that vernalization requirement. We don't have to do a fall plant and leave them in a Quonset over winter and they'll flower in the springtime whenever they feel like it. No, these are first year flower. We're going to grow them right through, just like an annual. There's great availability on many of these first year flowering perennials. Get those cuttings stuck by week 9 for a great finish for late spring, early summer, or there's plenty of time to get liner orders in. Maybe that's more your speed. A lot easier to pop a liner into a finished container, grow it right alongside your annuals with great success. And most of all, leverage your resources. You have a tremendous amount of resources. Don't let perennials scare you. You get a hold of me, my colleague Darren Barshaw on the product representative side. Your ball seed sales rep has access to the ball seed tech team as well, along with their own knowledge, and the Darwin Perennials team. A great resource that we have put together in the last few years is the First Year Flowering Tool. Go to firstyearfloweringtool.com. We've got all these genetics listed in there, both seed and vegetative perennials, culture information, scheduling information. All of our research has been brought together into one powerful tool. Check it out. And then Darwin Perennials website. We've done a ton of videos, cultural videos, propagation videos, features and benefits, if that's more of your speed, how to use them in the landscape. Lots of resources through the Darwin Perennials website. So use your resources. There's no reason why you cannot be successful with perennials as well. So when your customers come and ask you, what do you have for perennials? You can offer them a few of our choice first year flowering perennials that you're going to have great success with. The number one perennial on my no-brainer list is Coreopsis uptick. You cannot stop these from flowering. You cannot stop these from having just a fabulous bench presence because they flower season long. They are just like an annual, but they'll overwinter if you want them to. So we call them annuals with benefits, if that makes you feel better. Easy to finish, large flowers with the Uptick series. We've got 5 colors if you include the new gold we have for 2025. Fast bench turn on the Coreopsis Upticks. 8 weeks to finish, faster in the South. If you're in the South, 6 weeks. If you can picture that, taking a liner, transplant it into a gallon, finish it in 6 weeks, there is a bonus for perennials. Next up is Penstemon Rock Candy series. I love the spring type of colors in here, but we add a blue and a purple to the mix as well. Now, those are a little more unusual colors for the springtime garden center. You know, oftentimes see more of the pastels, so it's great to see a good purple, really nice clear blue for the garden center. I love the rock candies, mainly because that is, again, a first-year flowered plant you see there. That is a grower we sent a liner to. He finished it in a quart with absolutely no attention. That is the flower power that he got with these. Great for quarts, up 2 gallons, 9 weeks to finish for a Penstemon rock candy. You can't go wrong, and again, extremely attractive to the pollinators. And then Phlox Kapow. Now here's your garden phlox, your tall garden phlox. Generally, these are going to be a good summer bloomer. We can have these bloom in the June garden center, so we're going to come in after Mother's Day, the beginning of that summer season with these, but these are not your grandmother's garden phlox. These are much more compact at 18 inches tall, so they're not going to flop over in the container or the landscape. And most importantly, these are not going to turn white by the end of summer. These are highly mildew resistant. That is one of the greatest benefits that we have bred into the latest Phlox Kapow series. Long shelf life on these as well. And so we don't have this narrow window where, oh, we have to market our perennials just for this time period. If we miss it, we're going to end up in the compost pile. No, Phlox Kapow has an extended bloom time. And again, that container there in the upper right, that is first year flowered. That is highly unusual. You'll never see that in the older style of phloxes. You give it one pinch, you plant it, you let it go. That's what you get. And these were my favorite trial, Colorado State University, top performer several years ago. So fantastic hardiness, great summer performance, 10 weeks to finish in the springtime garden center. Again, you southern growers, maybe a little bit faster than that. And then Salvia Gregey, the Mirage series. We've built upon this series for many years because it's had such fantastic performance and adoption in the landscape market. Now you're wondering maybe why am I talking about a Salvia Gregey? That's an annual for me. Northern growers, yes, it's going to be an annual. It's zone 7 hardy. Southern growers, Texas, California, absolutely love these because they love the heat. And nowadays, northern growers need that kind of performance as well because we've had some extreme heat waves. These are going to stand up to that very nicely. What I also like, if we're using them as an annual in the north, mixed containers. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it adds a new and exciting type of component to a container garden. These are different colors and habits and textures that consumers aren't accustomed to seeing. So give perennials a try in some of your containers. There we see a heuchera and an echinacea with the Salvia Gregey. Fantastic combination. These are grown just like annuals, 8 week to finish. You can do them in quarts if you want, but they definitely fill out gallons very nicely. And Delosperma, ice plants, as the common name is, been around for a long time. They are a native type plant. We've highly hybridized these now into these super large flowers. Ocean Sunset series has the largest flower of any Delosperma on the market right now. Orange Vibe, Violet, and Orange Glow. We've got a fourth one coming for 2025, and we continue to build upon this because we've had so much interest with these because of the huge flower size and the flower coverage. And again, this one's suitable for quarts. A lot of perennial programs do go into that quart area of the benches, but we can also fill out gallons. Many of the older Delospermas don't have that type of vigor. Ocean Sunset definitely does. 10 weeks to finish on these. Again, be mindful of temperatures. Delosperma are kind of like that succulent type of plant, likes to be warmer, likes to be drier, and so we can have a great springtime, early summer finish with the Ocean Sunset. Now, I'm kind of running out of time here, but I have to squeeze in one more with the Budleyias because the National Garden Bureau has declared 2024 the year of the Budleya. Now, Darwin Perennials launched our Chrysalis series about 3 years ago. What is notable about the Chrysalis compared to your older ones like Black Knight is, first of all, we're much smaller. We're more compact. Our goal is to keep the Budleyas in the perennial program and not in the shrub program where they used to be. We have more of a roundy, moundy type of habit here in a container. We can fill out as big of a container as we want. Generally, we're targeting a 1 gallon to a 1.5. If you want to do larger, just give them more time. Thing is, these are continuous blooming. They're full flowering the first year. They don't need that overwintering. And if you want a magnet for butterflies, it's a butterfly bush. Duh, that's a no-brainer right there. So take a look at the Budley Crystalis series. I have heard from some regions of North America that I can't grow Budleyas. They're invasive in my area. Chrysalis is highly infertile. We have seen no reseeding in this. We have not officially tested it, but this one does not spread and is not going to take over and be invasive like it can be in some markets. Here we see the Chrysalis blue in the large container, so you can see that roundy moundy habit and a lot of color on top versus your older Budleyias. So that was the last one I had to squeeze in there, Bill. All I can say is, again, don't overthink your perennial program. Grow them just like annuals, and reach out to your ball seed rep to take advantage of perennial opportunities.
Awesome, and they can stick them up all the way to week 9, you said, and still get spring sales. That's
Still have
really
these
exciting.
Finishing by June, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Chris, wow. I mean, I don't really know what else I can say. You've told us about all the ways that perennials add excitement to gardens and landscapes, mixed containers, food for pollinators, and the grower-friendly production with the first-year sales opportunities, and some of those new amazing varieties, some of the no-brainers that you talked about for growers that traditionally are amazing with annuals. Getting into perennials could not be easier. So thank you for sharing all that great information. I'm sure the viewers are going to want to consider some of these new varieties for 2024 and start using that first-year flowering tool. I think that the resources that Darwin's created and the support that you guys bring is valued and truly amazing. And I definitely encourage the growers to reach out to Chris and the Darwin Perennials team for more information and start adding some of these Darwin varieties and using the resources to improve your production from beginning to end. So, Chris, thank you so much.
Have a great spring, everyone.
On behalf of Chris Fifo and the entire Darwin Perennials team and your team at GrowerTalks and Green Profit, take care out there. Have a great season.